I've never seen, there's no such thing as a 14-year-old girl anymore. They go from like 6 to 25.
Welcome to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and in today's video, we'll be talking about some of the celebrities in Hollywood that held onto dark secrets for a long time. Also, don't think that I'm just out here exposing people and their dark secrets. All of the information that we're about to discuss is online and open to the public. Some might still be speculation, but some will certainly be factual. Although before we can get into that, if you don't want to miss another daily video from us, make sure you tap that subscribe button to join our notification squad. Now, without any further delay, let's get right into today's list of the top 10 celebrities with dark secrets. In at number 10, Woody Harrelson. In order for Woody Harrelson to become the man that he is today, he had to overcome a lot of baggage that his father left over for him. Woody is a prolific actor now and just about nails it with every performance that he delivers. Although around the age of 12, Woody learned more about his father than he probably wanted to. Upon looking into what Woody's father actually did for a living, we found a ton of evidence online that he used to be a hitman. There is an entire Wikipedia page dedicated to each of the murders that he was involved with, including allegations of being involved with John F. Kennedy's assassination, although that's probably more conspiracy theory than anything else. In 1968, he was acquitted by a jury in Angleton, Texas for the murder of Alan Berg. That same year, he was tried again for the 1968 murder-for-hire killing of a man named Sam Begelia Jr. Apparently, he was paid about $2,000, which by today's standard would be about 15 grand, to murder the grain dealer and father of 4. Woody Harrelson's father was then sentenced to 15 years in jail, but was released on good behavior after only 5 years. His nail in the coffin, though, was when he and his wife were implicated in the murder of Judge John H. Wood Jr. in 1979. In at number 9, Lamar Odom. The former NBA star who was once married to Khloe Kardashian certainly had a spotlight put on his life and struggles therein that exposed some of his deepest and darkest secrets. I truly believe that if he hadn't have married a Kardashian, we still would have never really learned who he truly was. In his 2019 memoir titled Darkness to Light, Lamar talks about the scandal that took place at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel in 2012. He had arranged for 2 strippers to meet him there, as well as reaching out to his drug contact to provide a stash, as he put it. When his wife saw the bill come up on his credit card, though, she immediately showed up with her mom, Kris Jenner, and pounced on the first woman that she saw. Lamar recalls Khloe dropping vicious blows while Kris screamed for her security team to restrain her daughter. Khloe then instructed the security to dispose of all the drugs in the room. Although it wasn't much long after this that in 2015 he was found again overdosing in a hotel room, again accompanied by prostitutes. This time, however, there was no Kardashian at his side to hide the mess that he had just made. In at number 8, Joaquin Phoenix. Believe it or not, but Phoenix isn't actually Joaquin's last name. He was born in the Puerto Rican commune known as the Children of God cult. At the age of 4, his parents managed to escape the cult and relocate their family to the mainland. From there, they changed their last name to Phoenix in order to symbolize a rebirth. Although Joaquin's dark past didn't stop there. His family struggles continued in 1992 when he watched his brother River Phoenix die from an overdose. To make matters worse, he was the one who had to call 911 after his brother collapsed at the famous Viper Room nightclub in Los Angeles. In at number 7, Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder will forever be remembered as one of the cornerstones of comedic acting. He had unparalleled abilities to make people smile. However, it was this image that he had built around himself as a comedian that also barred him from ever talking about his struggles with mental health. It wasn't until Gene Wilder passed away at the age of 83 that many fans learned exactly what had been plaguing him for years. When Us Weekly released his cause of death, they mentioned that he had complications with Alzheimer's disease. Not too long after that, his family released a statement to clarify why he had kept his diagnosis private. His nephew said in a statement, "The decision to wait until this time to disclose his condition wasn't vanity, but more so that the countless young children that would smile or call out to him, 'There's Willy Wonka,' would not have to be exposed to an adult referencing illness or trouble and causing delight to travel to worry, disappointment, or confusion. He simply couldn't bear the idea of one less smile in the world." And I think I'm gonna cry now. Yep, we're getting watery. In at number 6, Jack Nicholson. As a superstar both on and off the screen, Jack Nicholson has had an incredible life so far that seemed to be all out in the open for everyone to see. Back in June of 1974 though, when Jack was 37 years old, he discovered shocking new details about his own birth. With his movie Chinatown scheduled to premiere in theaters everywhere, a reporter at Time magazine decided to do a cover story of Jack. Although while preparing for this story and doing some research on the actor, the reporter discovered that the woman for whom Jack had lovingly referred to as his sister was actually his biological biological mother. Jack had been the illegitimate child of 17-year-old June Nicholson on April 22, 1937. Although because she was so young, her parents agreed to raise Jack as their own and present to him that June was actually his sister. It's said that even on their deathbeds, both maternal grandparents of Nicholson had kept this secret from him. In at number 5, Robert Downey Jr. At this point, it's pretty common knowledge that Downey had a history of drug addiction, but what most people don't realize is that his issues all began at the age of 6 years old. His father was a filmmaker and drug addict who gave his son a joint to smoke at the age of 6. Downey claims that he was surrounded by drugs as a young kid and often used drugs as a way to kind of bond with his troubled father. He believed that when they did drugs together, it was his father's way of expressing love for him in the only way that he knew how. He nearly ended his acting career after being arrested several times for possession of cocaine, heroin, and marijuana use before spending a year in prison in 1999, which meant the cancellation of several acting jobs that he had lined up. After struggling even more with drug abuse between 2001 and 2003, Downey finally was able to kick the habit through a combination of the 12-step recovery program, meditation, yoga, and martial arts training. In at number 4, Chris D'Elia. Actor and comedian Chris D'Elia just recently was part of the Netflix show called You, and in the show he plays a scumbag comedian that was also hiding the fact that he was secretly a pedophile. Turns out that he had just been method acting for this role for a very long time. D'Elia has been accused of grooming and attempting to solicit nude photographs from underage girls. A woman named Simone tweeted out a screenshot of her alleged interactions with Chris, which began a thread of other women sharing their interactions with him as well. The stories are all pretty horrific considering that these women were all underage at the time, but Chris had been sending these messages to them. To make matters even worse for him, a video clip from his podcast was uploaded where he said that 14-year-old girls look like they're 30. At the time of making this video, Chris has yet to comment on the accusations, so keep that in mind, but with that said, he is most definitely keeping some dark secrets. In at number 3, Richard Pryor. This dark secret would probably not sound like a big deal to everyone living in 2020, but back in the 1970s, it would have been much more dangerous. Both Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando kept each other's secrets right up until their death, although the widow of Richard Pryor confirmed a claim by music producer Quincy Jones that the late comedian and Marlon Brando were indeed lovers. His widow, Jennifer Lee Pryor, said that he was openly bisexual and would be cracking up about his relationship with Brando going public. Having his widow back this story up does give it a lot more weight considering that Quincy Jones is known to make some wild claims. He also has said that Marlon Brando had no objection to sleeping with anyone, and he allegedly has been with James Baldwin as well as Marvin Gaye. But what a power couple those two could have been in today's age. Can you imagine if Richard Pryor and the Godfather Marlon Brando were a Hollywood couple? Amazing. That would have been amazing. Leave me a comment down below what you think their celebrity couple name would be. And at number 2, Charlize Theron. Before she became a world-famous actress, Charlize Theron suffered through a lot of tragedy in her childhood. While speaking with Howard Stern, she spoke openly about what it was like to grow up in a household with an alcoholic father and what it was like to deal with her mother shooting and killing her dad in self-defense. For most of her life, Charlize had to just ignore her shocking past. Whenever someone asked her about her father, she had to lie and say that he was killed in a car accident. She didn't tell anyone, nor did she ever want to tell anyone what had actually happened. Imagine holding that traumatic secret not only for yourself, but for your mother as well. During the talk with Stern, she also said that she never wanted to feel like a victim, which is kind of why she avoided telling this story for so long. Adding, "I struggled with that for many years until I actually started therapy." Charlize is not ashamed of what her mother had to do in order to protect them though. She believes that the more we talk about these things, the more that we realize we are not alone in any of it. For her, she just looks at it as a life lesson, a story about growing up with an alcoholic father and what that does to a person. Last but certainly least, in our number 1 spot, Jimmy Savile. Radio personality Jimmy Savile was always upheld as an outstanding citizen that was not only generous but also a very charitable man. So charitable, in fact, that he was even knighted by the Queen for his illustrious career. Although after his death, his dark secrets began to slowly come to light and his reputation would be changed forever. After his death in 2011, Time magazine reported on multiple allegations in regards to sexual misconduct and assault. According to Exaro, the review found that he had been involved in an inappropriate sexual conduct with boys and girls, 3 of which were only 9 years old at the time. Many of the accusations even put the abuse in a timeline where he was still working for the BBC, meaning that for years his predatory behavior had either gone unnoticed or was covered up to protect their image. And that has been the top 10 celebrities with dark secrets. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to our editors for all of your hard work. If you enjoyed this video, then please show us some love here by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, don't forget to leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on today's list. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is tap that playlist when it pops up. From Top 10 Beyond the Screen, my name is Johnny Rogers, saying until next time, stay classy.